Jeez. I mute. Okay. I'm going to mute myself, and then I'm going to uh put a sticky note to remind myself to unmute, because what happens is with this new intro, I have to mute myself during as it's playing. And so I forget, and I come on camera, and then boom, I'm like live in action. So let's start over, y'all. What I said was, hey, good afternoon on this fine Friday evening. I anticipated, seeing you guys in an hour for our virtual happy hour. We're going to be discussing all kind of funny stuff, but also just looking up different cocktails, alcoholic as well as non-alcoholic. But that's at 5. But breaking news, you read from the title. Okay. The young man that is the suspect in that shooting in Michigan, his parents are on the run. And I said, you know what? Surely by the time 3:00 my time hits, they're going to find these people. They're going to turn themselves in, and it will no longer be breaking news. Well, that's not the case. So that's why we're here. So if you're new here, my name is Melissa Berrien. I am your host of Melissa Berrien, Real Talk with Melissa Berrien. Okay. I got to get my sea legs in. Jeez. It's still no sound. It better be some sound. Yeah, it's some sound. Okay. Yeah, you must mean there was no sound before. I'm looking at the chat. Before I move on, I want to say, okay, Pam's like, oh my God. So anyway, so I was like, okay, surely they would have found him by now. Before I get into that, let me get into my hellos. Shout out to you, Blind Guy, his wife, their life. Great content creator. I love their the most that I love about them is their chemistry together on camera. But they are dubbed the self-help gurus channel for those of us in these YouTube streets. So shout out to you guys. Thank you guys for popping in. Pam Alford, Bodacious Lady is here, Helga, Shannon. She's like, girl, we can't hear you. You talking, we cannot hear you, but you can hear me now. Shatika Woods, of course, right in the beginning. Bless y'all. Good to see you. Y'all, I want to jump right into it because we don't have much time, because then we got to zoom over to our virtual happy hour, because I will not be missing that. Well, unless you've been living under a rock and you've missed a couple of my lives, tisk, tisk, tisk. I reported that this 15-year-old sophomore in Michigan, Cromley, I think his name is, he is the number one suspect. They got him on video, so I don't even have to scroll, Miss Allegedly. He shot up the high school. Yes, several people have died. Several people are injured. And I reported on just yesterday, that his parents were going. Well, first of all, when I initially reported, my spidey senses went up and I was like, okay, is his parents going to be charged with anything? Because something sounds a little strange. Well, yesterday when I reported, there was so much that came out as a result of this case. And we're going to unpack that, which led to the parents getting charged, and now they're on a run. Type it in the comment section, on a run. Okay. So let's start from the beginning. What happened yesterday? What did they uncover yesterday? They uncovered all kind of stuff. Number one, just hours. Let me find it. Just hours before that shooting happened, his parents were called to the doggone school, y'all. And the principal, he was reported by 2 teachers. So kudos to the teachers, because I did ask that the other day. Okay, now that you have all these suspicious activity, now what? We're doing what you asked us to do. What are you going to do about it? Well, the teachers did their job. The administrators did their job. And from what I understand, the administrators wanted him to be removed from class that specific day. And the parents said, absolutely not. The parents said, no, we're not going to do it. Well, what ended up happening was, come closer, because you're not going to believe this. The son went back to class, allegedly. He just a couple of hours scribbling on paper, talking about how it's going to be a bloodbath and blood everywhere. I'm paraphrasing on that. In the process of all of this happening, mom texts the young boy and says, Junior, don't do it. So when I found that out yesterday, I said, oh, you're going to get charges, because you didn't text the school. You didn't call the school. You didn't warn the school. You're telling him not to do it. And by that time, it was done. Am I talking to myself? What what am I what I'm on the run? I don't know what you're saying. Oh my God. Hello, everyone. All right. I don't know if the whole I can't hear you is old or new. So please leave a one in the chat if you can hear me because I'm preaching good. I'm talking right. On my end, my mic says that she's working. She's doing what she's doing. No, they said she said something about you weren't supposed to get caught. Lord, let me go find that. Shannon. No, Melissa, I'm in Detroit. They left the area until they was notified about the charges for their safety. The lawyers just released a statement. Um, I understand the lawyers released a statement, but the sheriff department said that they were in conversations with them the entire time. And when they were in conversation with them, basically the sheriff department said, we have not been notified that they are not coming back or turning themselves in. Helga, I am very aware of the fact that what the lawyer's statement says, and we can get into that. But I'm telling you, the sheriff department said, listen, we were in cahoots with them, talking with them until we said, you need to bring your tail here. And that's when they were like, they're missing. Because as it was reported on a different channel, it was someone else's commentary, rather. He said, you know what? Why would you leave if you didn't think that you were going to come up on charges? You left before anything even went down. Shannon says, literally just seen it a bit ago. She texted him and said, and put an LOL with it. Bless Reborn says, oh my God, I'm so upset. Notifications didn't remind me that you're live. No, Bless Reborn. This is on the fly. This was off the cuff right here, right now, breaking news in the moment. You didn't miss anything. I didn't do a pre-schedule or anything. That is coming up in approximately 49 minutes, the 5 o'clock show. This is just extra live breaking news on the fact that this young man's parents have not, bottom line, on the run, missing, whatever you want to call it, they have not turned themselves in. I want to say it was supposed to be at like 2:30, 2 o'clock, 2:30. So regardless of what the statement of the lawyer said, because I'm here to tell you, the sheriff said, listen, I read the note from the lawyer. I heard what he said, but guess what? We have no knowledge of them intending to turn themselves in. Bodacious lads, the parents should be in a cell just like the child. Sorry, folks, the parents supported this child in his wrongdoing. They really did. They really did. And I believe, in my opinion, that a lot of that parental intuition, and they knew something was weird, something was happening, something was going on. And as I reported a couple of days ago, the young man who is now being charged as an adult was not cooperating with police. He was not talking. And I believe that was at the directive of, and whether you agree with what he did or you support him or whatever, I thought it was a red flag that he was not speaking at all. Okay. I watch haves and have nots. Okay. I watch the haves and has not. And listen, the first thing they tell him, what Veronica, not Veronica, Miss y'all know who I'm talking about, not Veronica, but what you call it, she whispered in Wyatt's ear, she said, don't say nothing, don't say nothing. What was her name? Her name's not Veronica. Our 6 o'clock news is breaking. They're returning for arraignment now. Okay, so let's get on it. The parents should meet you. All right, thank you, Helga, you on it. Let's see. She said it's breaking. Let's look it up now. Look at these fat fingers going. All y'all hear is typing. I hope so. I hope they do turn themselves in. So again, yes, Helga, I see here where the parents said that where the lawyer said that the parents are returning to the area and all of that. I do see that. Let's see. So again, you guys comment down below. What do you think about this while I'm looking up this video? Because apparently the parents are turning themselves in. So I want to catch that press conference, and or that commentary. So you guys talk amongst yourselves. Let me know what you think. A lot of you are saying those parents need to be in jail with them, with him. The stuff that we're finding out that's coming out of his journals, the text messages, it's disturbing to me. It's disturbing. If parents started being charged in these school shootings, parents would think twice and lock up all the guns and not tell the children. You know what, Bodacious? That is my point exactly. You know, I know people that are diehard gun owners, and they definitely believe in training their children. And I don't even have a problem with that. Children, you know, if that's your culture, and I know plenty of people. It's second nature. The kids get that on, you know, on their second birthday. Absolutely. Let me see if I can find it. But you got to be safe, because now, two things. Now we have these parents. Yeah. So I don't see it. I don't see it. I'm looking for it. I don't see it. We got to keep looking. I'm gonna keep looking. Let me check Twitter, because Twitter gives me what I need. An immediate. And I agree. Without the training, without properly securing weapons, are parents responsible for some of this? That's the question at hand. And I don't know the complete facts, of course, and we don't know the ins and out, but I couldn't help but think of Kyle Rittenhouse. And, you know, what the mother thought she was taking him over to Kenosha to do during a riot. What was she thinking? That's my question. So let me show you a picture of these parents. These are the parents. They're on the run. If those tests are true from the mom, they need to be locked up. Listen, I'm only reporting from what the police said. Let me find a news conference from when they were charging them. That's what I'll do. So that way you know that that's not me talking. I'll find the police press conference that happened yesterday when I was like, uh-oh, they in trouble. You in trouble, girl. They all knew he was troubled. No news conference yet. Okay, Helga, keep me posted. I was looking and I couldn't find it. You know what? What was interesting is his brother came out and said everything was normal. He doesn't know what he's talking about as far as him saying that he was being bullied or anything like that. So this is all just very, very curious and just odd. Very odd. Blind Guy says, in the midst of all the horrible negativity, at least you're looking festive with an audience assisted backdrop. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yes, y'all. If you guys missed our live yesterday where we created what's going on behind us, you know, I was drinking a little tipsy. So I ended up calling my little bush because I was laughing at it. As I was getting ready for this live, I was like, how you going to call a whole plant a tree? I did. But either way, thank you guys that was a part of that live. Those of you that helped me do the background and everything. But now let me find the actual press conference. And that way you guys can see and hear exactly what the police found as a result. Here we go. No. Nope. There we go. The prosecutor. That's what I want you guys to hear. All right, friends. Let's listen. Share screen. There we go. That way you don't have to take my word for it. I get it. You can actually hear from her. All right. So, of course, we're going to let Chromebooks get their little ad. You know, so this is her. This is the prosecutor, Karen McDonald. And she yesterday announced the charges. So as soon as Miss Chromebook finishes with her ads, we'll get started. Nope, not done yet. All right, great. Let's skip. Here we go.
Good afternoon, Karen McDonald. Thank you for joining me this morning. It's been a devastating week for all of us as we continue to mourn the loss of the 4 children who were shot and killed this week in Oxford High School. We've heard some positive news that some of those injured in Tuesday's shooting have made some progress recovering from their physical injuries. While the physical wounds of the victims are starting to heal, the emotional wounds to the victims, students, and the entire community will last for years. I continue to work with Oakland County Sheriff Mike Bouchard and his team to stay close to the facts and evidence of this case as it continues to evolve. My role as the Oakland County prosecutor is to seek justice for the victims of this tragedy. The family, friends, and loved ones of Hannah St. Juliana, Madison Baldwin, Tate Murr, and Justin Schoen, and the other victims have had their lives shattered. As I mentioned a few days ago, I did have the opportunity to speak with the parents of the children who were killed. Additionally, my office has reached out this morning to all of the victims who were injured. And we continue to be dedicated to offering them services and support during this time. While the shooter was the one who entered the high school and pulled the trigger, there are other individuals who contributed to the events on November 30th, and it's my intention to hold them accountable as well. It's imperative we prevent this from happening again. No other parent or community should have to live through this nightmare. I have shared previously, and I will reiterate today, that gun ownership is a right. And with that right,
it's responsibility.
Responsibility.
That's right.
Based on the information and evidence I have received, today I am announcing charges against the shooter's parents, Jennifer and James Crumbly. The charges are as follows. James Crumbly is charged with 4 counts of involuntary manslaughter. Jennifer Crumbly is also charged with 4 counts of involuntary manslaughter. I will now publish the details that led to that decision.
Here it is, y'all. Here it is.
Previously been made public, which allows me to comment on them, and a swear sheet that has just taken place in the district court.
All right, here it is.
By Officer Sanders, Detective Sanders. The investigation into the school shooting incident at Oxford High School, which occurred on November 30th, 2021, has revealed that James Crumbly purchased a Sig Sauer 9mm model SP 2022 from Acme Shooting Goods in Oxford, Michigan on November 26, 2021. A store employee confirms that Ethan Crumbly was present with James at the time of the purchase. Per statute, James Crumbly completed ATF Form 309A, 5309A. On or about November 26, 21, Ethan Crumbly's social media posts revealed photos of the semi-automatic handgun, along with the caption, "Just got my new beauty today," including an emoji with hearts. Sig Sauer 9mm. Any questions I will answer, end quote. Subsequent to the purchase of that weapon, one of Jennifer Crumbly's social media posts on about 11/27/21 read, quote, "Mom and Sunday testing out his new Christmas present," end quote. On November 21st, 21, a teacher at the Oxford High School observed Ethan Crumbly searching ammunition on his cell phone during class and reported the same to school officials. Jennifer Crumbly was contacted via voicemail by school personnel regarding that son's inappropriate internet search. School personnel indicate they followed that voicemail up with an email but received no response from either parent. Thereafter, Jennifer Crumbly exchanged text messages about the incident with her son on that day, stating, quote, "LOL, I'm not mad at you. You have to learn not to get caught."
Oh.
On November 30th, 21, the morning of the shooting, the next day, Ethan Crumbly's teacher came upon a note on Ethan's death, which alarmed her to the point that she took a picture of it on her cell phone. The note contained the following: a drawing of a semi-automatic handgun pointing at the words, quote, "The thoughts won't stop, help me," end quote. In another section of the note was a drawing of a bullet with the following words above that bullet, quote, "Blood everywhere," end quote.
My goodness.
Between the drawing of the gun and the bullet is a drawing of a person who appears to have been shot twice and bleeding. Below that figure is a drawing of a laughing emoji.
Laughing.
Further down the drawing are the words, quote, "My life is useless," end quote. And to the right of that are the words, quote, "The world is dead," end quote. As a result, James and Jennifer Crumbly were immediately summoned to the school. A school counselor came to the classroom and removed the shooter and brought him to the office with his backpack. The counselor obtained the drawing, but the shooter had already altered it. The drawings of the gun and the bloody figure were scratched out along with the words, "Help me," and "My life is useless." "The world is dead," and "blood everywhere." Those were all altered by him. At the meeting, James and Jennifer Crumbly were shown the drawing and were advised that they were required to get their son into counseling within 48 hours. Both James and Jennifer Crumbly failed to ask their son if he had his gun with him or where his gun was located, and failed to inspect his backpack for the presence of the gun, which he had with him.
Wow.
James and Jennifer Crumbly resisted the idea of them leaving the school at that time, of their son leaving the school at that time.
Mm-hmm.
Instead, James and Jennifer Crumbly left the high school without their son. He was returned to the classroom. When the news of the active shooter at Oxford High School had been made public, Jennifer Crumbly texted to her son at 1:22 p.m.
What did she say?
Quote, "Ethan, don't do it." End quote.
Okay, that's what I thought.
At 1:37 p.m., James Crumbly called 911, reporting that a gun was missing from his house, and he believed his son may be the shooter.
Too late.
Further investigation revealed that the 6-hour 9mm handgun purchased by James Crumbly was stored unlocked in a drawer in James and Jennifer's bedroom.
Come on.
The gun recovered from the shooter at the school after the shooting was the same gun that was purchased by his father, James Crumbly, on November 26, 2021, in the presence of his son. Based upon the foregoing, the Oakland County Prosecutor's Office requested and received authorized recharged 4 counts of involuntary manslaughter as to James Crumbly and 4 counts of involuntary manslaughter as to Jennifer Crumbly.
Wow. All right. Well, y'all heard it here. These are the charges and the specific evidence that they found to charge them.
I want to be really clear that these charges are intended to hold the individuals who contributed to this tragedy accountable and also send a message that gun owners have a responsibility. When they fail to uphold that responsibility, there are serious and criminal consequences. As we work together to honor the lives lost and all of those impacted by the evil acts this week, justice for the victims and their families is at the forefront of today's announcement.
Yeah.
We need to do better in this country. We need to say enough is enough.
Well, there you have it, folks. Like I said, the parents are now on a run. That was yesterday. The prosecutor, Mrs. McDonald, just laid out the charges and why she was levying the charges against his parents. And that's tragic. That's a mess. That's a hot mess. And from what I'm understanding, she didn't say it, but it sounded like when they were having the meeting, the administration was like, well, why don't you take him home? Or why don't you search his backpack? And it did it not sound like that to you guys? Leave a comment down below if it felt like during the parent conference, they wanted them to search the backpack and they suggested the parents do it. And they said, no, we're not going to do it. Tell me if that's, again, y'all know I have a wild imagination. So to me, she didn't say that. I will say that she did not. The prosecutor did not state that's what happened, but she said they refused to search his bag. They refused to take him home. They refused to acknowledge that there was anything suspicious going on that they needed to take care of. Leave a comment down below if that's what you were getting from that video I just played, because that's what I was kind of thinking. Let me know. Bodacia says, I have 3 adult children now. When they were in school age, up until high school, every day I did a well check on my child's mental health. In the evening, I did mental check on my kids. And you know what, Bodacious, I think that is something that most parents do. Sometimes it was more forceful, direct, just depending on what was going on. Other times it's just at dinner. Hey, how you doing? What's going on? That type of thing. I pass my kids in the hallway. How you doing? Love you. Hey, big boy. Hey, girl. How you doing? That type of thing. So it doesn't have to be this whole great big sit down. Let me check on your mental state. Absolutely not. And you did the right thing. It sounds like these parents were culpable. They thought it was funny. They thought it was their right. As I was listening and waiting on this to kind of come out and maybe the parents to turn themselves in, I was like, I wonder if they're the type, and trust me, I'm not saying that they're Trump supporters, but it's giving me this, okay? Bear with me. Play with me. It's giving me much Trump come save us. You know, in other words, sometimes you have these people that have these extreme beliefs. My kid can carry a gun and he can do what he want to do, and ha ha ha, everything's funny. It's funny till it's not. And then they think these people that are in the media are going to come save them, and they're not coming to save you. You are now in trouble. You are on the run, allegedly. Your son is in trouble now. Not because of your right to bear arms, but because of your right to bear arms, which you did irresponsibly. If you're liking my channel, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to this channel, and don't forget to hit the notification bell. Right now, do it. Right now, do it. You guys, it is breaking news with Real Talk with Melissa Berrien, and I'm your host, Melissa Berrien. And y'all know one of my favorite things near and dear to me is to provide commentary on breaking news, trending news, and just hot topics. And right now, the hot topic of the day, the hour, is the fact that this gentleman, Crumley, I want to say Matthew, but I don't think that's his name. His parents are on the run. And if you're just joining in, I just played the clip of the prosecutor outlining the charges and the evidence as to why she is levying these charges against his parents. Subsequently, up until that point, allegedly, the parents were in touch with the prosecutor and cooperating with the police. But the minute the charges were levied, they said the communication went blank. It went dark, and it has gone dark. So at this point, it's being reported officially that they are on the run. Regardless of what their lawyer says, regardless of what their spokesman says, the sheriff is saying, we know no knowledge. We have no prior knowledge of this family intending to turn themselves in. So I'm going to go with them. All right. Let's read the comments. You nailed it. I honestly think if he was brown, they would have automatically searched him. It's giving MAGA mess, shaking my head. So you feeling me, Shannon? Like it felt the way she said it in the conference, like they were saying, search his bag. Take him home. Ask him if he's a risk. And the parents took up for him. Mom sending LOL emojis and everything else. And y'all know what I always do before I go into the rest of the comments. I always tell you guys, if you have kids, in this case, I would say, well, if you have a weapon in your home, for sure. But in the event of this case, if you have a child 9 and above, use this as a teachable moment. Use this as a teachable moment. You know what? I dare to say 6, especially if you have a weapon in your home. Secure it, safety, all of that. And you guys know when it comes, my kids will tell you, when stuff like this involves young adults, children, the ages of my kids, they're going to get a text. They're going to get this article. If you have something that you need to talk about, that you're frustrated about or whatever, we need to have this conversation. Number 1. Number 2, we don't solve it by doing this. Number 3, we don't solve it by doing that. I use y'all's, listen, I use y'all's favorite articles and breaking news to send to my kids to be like, don't do that. This is not the way you want to go out. That's just me. That boy had the gun in his backpack in the meeting. Bodacious, that's what I'm saying. They said it. The prosecutor said it. It came out. He had the gun because as a matter of fact, we're not even speculating. I don't even have to add allegedly, because he wasn't allowed to leave school. The parents said, no, you take care of it. Ha ha ha. He went back to school. He went back to class and shot up everybody. So you're absolutely right, Bodacious. He had it during the meeting and they knew it and they weren't going to search it. You nailed it. These parents give these children freedom. Who takes their 15-year-old to a gun store to buy a gun? A fool, that's who. Sad story, but the more parents need to be exposed. Well, here's the thing. I gotta push back just a little bit, Bodacious, because it's not illegal to take your kids to, because Walmart, well, they used to. I don't know if they still do, but regular department store sells firearms. So there's nothing illegal to raise a culture of, as your family, gun-toting, shooting, hunting family. There's nothing wrong with that. I have so many friends that hunt, black, white, brown, indifferent. I have so many friends that their little kids and their teenagers, they go to the range with them. That is not uncommon in many circles. I'm used to it. I'm used to hunting families and all of that. So I'm not going to say that these people are in the same boat as what happens here. Because when you are raised in that culture, when you're raised in the gun family, I mean, these kids get semi-automatics at 12. Now, we can debate whether you feel like that's right or wrong or whatever, but it's not, in certain states, it's not illegal. I think the conversation here is so many, is multiple fold. There's so many angles that we could take this. But one thing I don't want to say is, how dare you take your kid to a gun shop? I necessarily didn't take my kids to a gun shop. Can y'all see my tongue? I forgot I had a ring pop before I came on and it was blue. And I was practicing. I said I was going to talk like this the whole time. Y'all know I'm crazy. Anyway, so I'm not going to say that. Like I said, black, brown, like hunting, there's nothing wrong with that. Raising your kids to know how to hunt, especially homesteaders. Shouts out to you, Blacks Tropical. You know what I'm talking about. Those of you that are homesteaders, that's second nature to be around firearms responsibly. This was not that. This was not that. They stored it unsecured, in an unlocked drawer. He knew how to get ammo, and it sounded like they knew. This is me. This part is me. It seems as if he was kind of obsessed with not only the firearm, but the ammo and causing destruction. And if he was doodling at school and the teacher came up on it, can we dare just to say that his parents found some doodlings and drawings at home? Ciao. Greetings, Patrice. Hey, Patrice. It's funny. It's funny till it's not. I'm trying to tell you. It's LOL. Ha ha ha. Don't do it. Don't get caught and all this other stuff till it's not. When you have a child that is mentally disturbed in any way, you should take it serious. You should take it seriously because it's funny till it's not. And when it becomes not is when someone or themselves get hurt. Absolutely. Here in Ohio, the parents wouldn't have been given a choice. He would have sent home, period. Absolutely. I'm thinking about the times, me and all my friends were sitting in school. It wasn't well, do you want to take them home? No. If you got called to the office for whatever reason, especially if two teachers were concerned, I pray for these teachers. I pray for the teachers. I pray for the administrators. I pray for everyone involved, not necessarily the teachers because they did what they were supposed to do. But as an administrator, I pray because they could have made the decision to say, we need him gone for today. He needs a mental break. The teachers need a break. But instead, they let him go back to class, hence the shooting. They refused to search the bags. They refused to do those things. Is there blood on the administrative's hands? I hope not. Them dealing with this is enough. But someone's going to listen. This is the other thing I was thinking about. Someone will want to hold the school district accountable. Because thank God, knock on wood and everything else, my kids are safe. But I'm telling you right now, as a parent of one of the injured, I'm going after that school in that school district because you could have put your foot down. So we're talking to Patrice. Am I to understand the parents have been charged with the crime too? And there's a question about that? No. I mean, yes, the parents have been charged. And once the charges were levied, they went missing. They were cooperating to a certain degree in communication with law enforcement. But the minute they said, okay, you need to turn yourselves in today, which would have been today at 2:30, whatever, all communication went radio silent. And now they are considered officially on the run. So after I go through these comments, I'll look again and see if there's any updates. But as of right now, they are still on the run. So you're talking to each other. If he was brown and in the city, he would have been kicked out when the teacher saw him the first time. Think about the little kindergartner kids in recent news in the last 10 years that have been suspended, kicked out, and everything else for drawing guns, which was something when most of us was in elementary school. We all drew guns or pow pow, whatever. Can't do that. Sent home without a doubt. This kid allegedly already had multiple red flags, and then you have this doodle and then allowed to go back to class. They did not believe fat meat was greasy. They did not believe. I don't know. Maybe the administration the school administration will eventually come out. They will probably not, now that I think about it, because this is a criminal investigation. But what I'm trying to say is, I wonder what the hell they were thinking in that moment. Because if you suspected him to have the gun, you wanted them to search him, you thought that he was sketchy, and then you said, okay, go back to class. Man. The parents bought his gun for one thing only, was to have a showdown at the school. Wow, you think so bodacious? Because he hasn't had the gun for a month. It was a couple of days before this incident, as we saw. The parents are cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs too. Yep. The school's district has the deepest pockets, and the deepest pockets get raided. It is what it is. Oh, that's who I'm going for. That's who I would go for. Don't want to ever be in their position of the injured or anyone else. But that would be my advice to the parents that are in this situation. Go head to the school boards. Don't even stop at the parents. Don't even stop at the young man, because you definitely ain't gonna get anything from him or them. Now we're probably gonna have some new legislation and procedures, rather, to mitigate even more risk, because up until this point it was report. Thank God those two separate teachers were like, okay, this is weird. This kid is weird. He's weirding me out. And no offense to anyone that has weird children, because I've met plenty, and some of the most brilliant children are weird. So I'm not dragging him for being weird or anything. No, he made their spidey senses go up. So it wasn't just weird, he was creepy. It was evil. Y'all, I can do a whole nother live about energy. He didn't have to say a word, but his energy spoke before him. All they saw was a picture, and the energy spoke before him. That's a whole nother live. It's a whole nother live. I'm not even gonna get into that. You're looking holiday fabulous, real talk. Thank you. I'm having fun with Vlogmas. I told you guys I attempted this before, way before I had the following that I have now. And but the problem was, I was pressured because I felt like I needed to do Vlogmas, and I'm truly not a vlogger at heart. Absolutely doggone not. When something's going on and I'm at the zoo lights or whatever, I'm there. I'm not the type of person to be like, yo. That's just not me. Or like, oh, we're putting a tree together. That's just not me. So when I started going live, and then as the months passed, and now here we are in December, I was like, you know what? Don't even put yourself in the position to get pressured to do Vlogmas. Don't even do it, because you're not going to do it. That requires editing. That requires everything that you do not need in your life right now. Just go live. And hence I came up with the idea of Livemas. And so that's that. And I'm having fun. That's all that matters. I'm having fun. I'm creating content that I want to create. Not that anybody else want to see, is what I want to see and what I want to do. So anyway, some folks have to get slapped all upside their head with greasy fat meat so they know that it's greasy. Exactly, Adrian. Exactly. And the thing about it is that a lot of the cry for people that have a family of gun ownership, like it's a culture, is, oh, it's my right, it's my right, it's my right. But I am here to tell you, it is absolutely your right, but you have a right to be responsible and to teach your children responsible gun ownership. But also, if you know you have a dark child, okay, If you know you have a child that's struggling with some things, that's the last child that needs to know where the gun is and to get a gun for their 15th birthday. This is the last one, in my opinion. The school district sure missed one step prior to this day. Listen, I know that principal, assistant principal, whoever was in that meeting is, for lack of a better word, kicking themselves in the shins, in the neck, and anything else. And I pray for them because, on one hand, just as we're having a conversation, there are many people that are going to be very angry at them, and they're going to be asking, why did you let him go back to class? I don't want to be that person to give a hell, what is it, a heaven or hell, or judge them like that. It's too much. But they let him go back. You let him go back to class. Yes, please. I love you for you. I love for you to do a live about energy. I will. And I used to do a lot of actually I used to do this series on Sundays where we would just talk mental health, energy, spirituality, and everything. And I'm bringing it back for Vlogmas. So this Sunday we will be talking about a few things, and maybe I won't even wait for Sunday to talk about it. But really, Adrian, just what I said, like I said, I don't want it to be like, oh, now we got to watch out for all weird kids, or we got to watch out for all kids that are sad or whatever. That's not the case. His energy was evil. He had a negative aura. You don't have to say anything, but you walk into a room, you walk into a live, you cam up. You ever watch someone's live and the minute they cam up, you like, oh, hell no. And you click off immediately. I know plenty of people. When I'm searching, looking for something to watch, and my faves are in bed sleep because they're on a whole nother time zone than me, I'll click on live and I'm like, oh, who is this? Okay. And I'm like, nah, I don't like the energy. I don't like the energy. And the beautiful thing about energy is it doesn't matter how someone projects their voice, uses any type of emotions, it cannot mask true energy. But that's a whole nother live. Von Bryan in the house. He says, just passing through to show support. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Royalty Queen, hello, hello. Patrice says, parents be in denial, but they know when they have the problematic kids. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Now, here's the thing. I've seen situations where kids just out of the blue just went left. Very rare where parents didn't have some forewarning, whether it was the 3-year-old that was very, very aggressive, the 3-year-old or the 4-year-old that was very stubborn, not a rule follower from the jump, that type of thing. But then there are times where parents just have no idea. And I just don't think that's this situation. And when I say parents don't have an idea, one thing that I don't do, especially for my adult children, if I know that I've taught them differently and they've decided to go and make different choices, don't call me. Don't y'all call me and say y'all putting that on Melissa and Vanell, because no, ma'am, we didn't raise them like that. They doing that foolishness on their own. So that is twofold. And I agree with you, Patrice, but sometimes, child, we don't be knowing. I mean, I have a kid almost 30. We almost in all the ages and stages. And sometimes they do stuff to make you scratch your head and go, who the hell raised you? But that wasn't this case. Mom's texting him laughing. Mom's telling him, don't get caught. No. They need to go back to the days of village discipline. That part as well. But, village discipline is something, one of the things that those of us that grew up under that concept, we miss. We hated it back in the day. I don't know if we hated it back in the day. We didn't know any better. We didn't know any different. You knew if you went outside, you couldn't go 2 houses over without somebody being in your business. And if you're running from the store because you stole something or did something or whatever, somebody's going to know and they're going to tell on you. And it has traveled by the time you got back to your house. Your parents knew this, the teachers were part of your community. I was, obviously, because I taught at my kids' school, but I was friends with all my kids' teachers. My mother was friends with all the teachers. You don't want me to call Terry. Oh, hell. Like, why y'all on first name basis? Don't do that. That's gone. Some cases, but from talking to most of my friends that are teachers, you can't tell y'all kids nothing, because y'all will be the first person to say, don't talk to my kid that way. Don't check my kid. And I believe that is the reason why the administrators were like, I'm not going to force this book bag search. I'm not going to force this search, him going home, because cancel culture, number one, but also lawsuit culture. Because if for some stretch of the imagination, because from what I understand, due to COVID, they didn't have lockers. They weren't using lockers. So whatever he had on him, it was in his backpack. So he had it in his backpack when he was in a meeting. But let's just say from some stretch of the imagination, there was no gun or anything in his backpack. Most parents would have been like, whew, thank God, we'll move on to the next thing. Parents that are hot for litigation, they would try to sue the school. In most schools, from what I understand, they should be able to search backpacks and retrieve stuff. Absolutely. We live in a world that is really strange. The school district has insurance. They'll be all right. Oh, yeah, of course. Of course. Pardon, you got a 30-year-old for real? Yes, I do. He'll be 30 in August. Yes. They need to go back to the day of the village discipline. Parents being there. Okay, so yes, my girl, I have a 30-year-old. I didn't have him at 12 either. My age matches him. Let me see if I can find a picture of him. Yeah, he's 30. And we have 30, 25, 22, and 16. Yep. So that's my family. So y'all, let's see what's going on. So let me share this because share screen. All right. So this is Twitter. Okay. I like to go to Twitter when I'm looking for in the moment breaking news or whatever. Twitter's really good about that. So this is, what caused me to say, you know what, this story isn't going anywhere. The police are searching for the parents of the alleged Michigan high school shooter charged with involuntary manslaughter. All right. And so what I understand, it's 2 charges each or 4. It's like a lot. Let me not say that. So there's a BOLO, be on the lookout alert, was issued in Michigan on Friday for the parents of the 15-year-old. The Detroit News reports the parents were charged with involuntary manslaughter just hours before the law enforcement confirmed the parents met with the school officials about their son's behavior and mental health just hours before the fatal shooting, according to the Associated Press. 3 teenage victims ranging from 14 to 17 were identified late Tuesday, while a 4th victim passed away Wednesday. Okay. So, of course, unfortunately, the more people pass away, the more charges. And yeah. You can catch you can catch a village beatdown. Yep. Shoot. Here they are, y'all. Here they are. James and Jennifer Crumbly. And they're searching for them from I forgot the description of the car. I do remember that it's black, but this is them. And again, they're calling it a manhunt. So as much as people are I think it's not that they're confused. I think that the fact that their lawyers made a statement, they are thinking that, okay, that's it. The lawyer said that they were turning themselves in. Well, folks, that was hours ago. And not only was that hours ago, the sheriff department since came out and said, we were not a part of that. We have no idea what's going on. So this says Karen McDonald. So this is the prosecutor, as we said. People are praising her. They're saying she's impressive. This Glenn Kirshner says Republican politicians. Okay, so here's the blaming. The blaming is beginning. Republican politicians have refused to protect our children against gun violence. They worship at the altar of the NRA, money, and unrestricted gun access. I'm glad prosecutor Karen McDonald stepped up by criminally charging Ethan, that's his name, Ethan Crumley's parents on Tuesday. So again, this was Tuesday. It's now Friday. Okay. So yeah. This is her talking, though, if you missed that.
That gun owners have a responsibility. When they fail to uphold that responsibility, there are serious and criminal consequences. As we work together to honor the lives lost and all of those impacted by the evil acts this week, justice for the victims and their families is at the forefront of today's announcement. We need to do better in this country. We need to say enough is enough. For our kids, our teachers, parents, for all of us in this community and the communities across this nation. I want to be really clear that these charges are intended to hold the individuals who contributed to this tragedy accountable and also send a message that gun owners have a responsibility. When they fail to uphold that responsibility, there are serious and criminal consequences. As we work together to honor the lives lost and all of those impacted by the evil acts this week, justice for the victims and their families is at the forefront of today's announcement.
So, here's an article that speaks to how he probably had the weapon on him. Where did the article go? They want me to subscribe. Y'all know that's not happening. I subscribe to enough stuff. Okay, so how he might have had the weapon on him during that meeting. He had to have. For them to send him back to school, to class, and then for that to happen, what else are we supposed to assume? All right, I don't want to do that. All right, so here he is. Here's Ethan. Okay, there he is. That's Ethan. He's the suspect. I already showed you his parents. All right, y'all. Let me get a different article, because what I'm not gonna do is pay for an article. You guys know that. You guys don't know that, but my computer knows that. So let me find an article. So anyway, if you're just joining in, make sure you hit the like button as we are continuing to report on this unfortunate tragedy that keeps continuing to unfold. You read from the title, Ethan's parents, the suspect. The parents are now considered on the run, despite the fact that their lawyers submitted a statement to the press saying, hey, they're not on the run. They're going to turn themselves in. But that was hours ago. And not only was it hours ago, the sheriff's department, so to speak, the sheriff's department did a statement, and they were like, listen, we don't know what they're talking about, but we have no prior knowledge of him turning himself in or them turning themselves in. So, all right. Okay, so here's a statement from the attorney. I'll be fair and share with you guys the statement from the attorney. I don't care what I honestly don't care what the lawyer says, but I got to be fair and balanced. So anyway, the attorney says the parents of Michigan teen charged in a shooting, they aren't fleeing. So that was about 10:34 this a.m. Okay. The parents of the Michigan teenager accused of killing at least 4 of his classmates in a mass shooting has been criminally charged and returning to the area for arraignment. Prosecutors said James and Jennifer Crumley are charged with 4 counts of involuntary manslaughter for each of those students who died on Tuesday's attacks. Their attorneys, Shannon and Marielle, said the couple was returning to the area for their arraignment. So again, this was earlier today. The Crumleys left town on the night of the tragic shooting for their own safety. the attorney said. They are returning to the area to be arraigned. They are not fleeing from law enforcement, despite recent comments in media reports. The couple who were scheduled for arraignment stopped responding to their attorney on Friday. So that's what I was talking about. They were, cooperating with the attorney, cooperating with the sheriff, so to speak. And then all of a sudden they get charged. And then on Friday, radio silence. And one thing I have learned listening to the lead attorney and anybody else associated with law is, I'm not saying that the lawyers have anything to do with it, but they will protect their clients. That's just the bottom line. Their 15-year-old son, Ethan, is charged with terrorism and 4 counts of first-degree murder and gun-related charges in the shooting. So he's being tried as an adult. I said that. James Crumley brought the 9mm to school. No, on November 26th. So they did Black Friday shopping, and he got a gun. Most of y'all go out and get TVs, but you know what? He got a gun. Come on now. And Ethan posted on social media a picture of the gun and said, "Isn't she a beauty? Look at my new beauty." In a separate social media post, Jennifer referred to the weapon as Ethan Crumley's Christmas gift. Jeez. Y'all. I don't know. I don't even know. Hello, Smooth Talk. When is enough for top officials? All those slaps on the wrist is not going to get the problem solved. God, our children are dying. Well, here's the thing. How you doing, girl? Good to see you. The thing of it is I think even when you think about the Roe v. Wade that's on the table now, we've just gone too far to turn back, I guess is what my whole point. It's gone too far. There's too many freedoms to try to think that people are going to give up those freedoms. They're not. And that's why we see the problems that we see in our country. Stricter gun laws and responsibilities for those who carry. Exactly, Rochelle. Here in Arizona, anybody, well, I'm not going to say anybody, but I don't need to have any type of background check or anything. If I want to go right now to get whatever it is I want to get, I can own as many weapons as I want and carry. This is a very liberal state, conservative, but very liberal state as it relates to gun ownership. But these are the laws that we're looking at. And they're, unfortunately, all the thoughts and prayers and everything else, save them, store them. Because they're not going to change this. That's my point. It's not going to change. So I'm headed to my live where we're going to be sipping and just saying. Y'all know that. That's my virtual happy hour. And if you're new here and you're like, okay, what the heck? What are we talking about? So I don't have to tell you that we're living a very fast-paced life. Sometimes we barely have enough time to even eat a balanced meal. Well, here's the thing. I created a space for adults to wind down. Essentially, it's a virtual happy hour called Sippin' and Just Saying. That's right, a place where we get to wind down, we laugh, joke, we clown each other, and we just share a relaxed time with one another. So kick up your heels, come on in with your favorite drink or beverage, and let's have a laugh together. Oh, and did I mention no serious topics are allowed? See you soon. All right. So as y'all heard, Sipping and Just Saying is starting in approximately 8 minutes. So I'm going to head over there. And as you saw, no serious topics are allowed. So I had to get out the serious topics. But rest assured, when these people turn themselves in or they are found, I will be back to break the news and we'll talk about it more, as well as other breaking news and updates. In the meantime, I'll see you guys over in the next live. Like, it should be like popping up right down there. Make sure before you head out, you hit the like button. If you've come in and you like what you see on my channel, consider subscribing and definitely hit the notification bell because you do not want to miss out on great content, especially during Livemas. So in the meantime, I'll see you guys like right now. Like, don't even trip. Meet me over there. Peace.